Chosen one, stop. Wherever you are, stop scrolling. Pause the noise, set the cup down. Sit, shoulders lower, jaw unclench. Take one slow breath, not a deep one, a slow one. Feel the air enter, feel it leave. I am going to be precise with you because you do not have time for vague messages, and you do not need another swirl of words. You need containment. You need to know what is happening to you and what to do next. Chosen one, hear me. This different you keep trying to explain away is not a mood. It is not a random surge. It is not hormones, not the weather, not the algorithm. It is your identity coming online. The old self, the one built for approval, for speed, for second guessing, is losing authority. The true self, the one I first spoke over you before you learned to perform, is returning with quiet, immovable weight. That ache you cannot shake, that clarity that arrives and vanishes, that sudden tenderness that makes you weep over small things. These are not signs that you are unstable. These are signs that your original name is waking up inside of you. Stay with me. Breathe slow. You are not late. You have not missed your life, but you cannot stay vague anymore. Vague is how you survived the last season. It cannot carry you through this one. The shift has already begun. The question is not if. The question is how cleanly you will transition. I will steward you through that. I will not let you sabotage what heaven has already started. This word is going to sound strange to the unprepared. They will call it dramatic. They will say you are overthinking. That is because it is not for them. It is for the one who has been waking at unchosen hours, feeling crowded by rooms that used to feel safe, hearing your own name in the quiet as if someone has been standing at the door. It will feel familiar to you because it reaches the part of you that remembers. You are not imagining it, you are remembering. So listen. Lower the volume of everything else by 10 degrees. Do not text anyone right now. Do not open another tab. Bring your attention here. Put one hand on your chest. Slow breath. Slow, not deep. I am going to show you how to treat this like the real transition it is. Panic will try to tell you to sprint. Shame will try to tell you to apologize. Neither has jurisdiction. You are safe in this moment. You are being reintroduced to the person you were always meant to be. Here is what you can expect from me in this message. Precision as care. I will give you recognizable signs so you can verify that what you are feeling is not fantasy. I will give you an ordered response plan so you do not trip the sequence you are meant to walk. Not a grand gesture, not a public performance, a sequence in order. Small obediences that stack into momentum, and I will guard you from the 3 most common ways you self-sabotage in windows like this: explaining too soon, negotiating with misalignment, and skipping the first step because the third looks bigger. Not today. Chosen one, lift your eyes. This is a marked moment. You are inside a window that is moving as we speak. You do not have to be afraid of it. Windows do not come to shame you, they come to reveal you. The pressure you feel is not a threat. It is a countdown to clarity. If you will honor it, if you will slow, listen, and respond in order, you will cross this threshold cleanly. One more slow breath. Feel the ground under you. Receive this. The real you is not arriving from the outside. The real you is rising from within. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming original again. And from this breath forward, we will treat this as what it is: identity activation, not a mood swing. I will show you the fingerprints. I will show you the doors. Stay with me. Chosen one, listen. Time is not one thing. Your calendar knows one kind. Chronos, the time of the clock. The time that moves in equal squares and predictable ticks. But heaven moves in another, kairos, the appointed time, the ripened moment that cannot be manufactured and cannot be recovered if ignored. I am going to be precise with you because you do not have time to be confused by language. You are not merely busy, you are inside Kairos. This is why the hours feel short and the air feels thick. This is why small decisions suddenly carry weight, as if someone added lead to your choices. They did. Not a person, not pressure. Heaven. Slow breath. Slow, not deep. Put a hand on your chest. Feel the pace. That thrum is not panic, it is pace change. Chronos says, it's only Tuesday. Kairos says, this Tuesday is a gate. Chronos asks, what is on the schedule? Kairos asks, what is becoming available that has not been available before? Do you feel the difference? One measures distance, the other measures readiness. One tracks minutes, the other tracks alignment. Chronos will let you drift for months and call it productivity because boxes got checked. Kairos interrupts you with holy inconvenience and whispers, now. The interruption you are resenting is not your enemy. It is your invitation. I want you to understand why this season feels faster than the clock. Kairos compresses. It pulls scattered pieces into sudden coherence. It accelerates clarity in ways that look irrational to anyone outside the window. You will notice ideas you parked 6 months ago stepping forward with a seriousness that surprises you. You will feel an unusual urgency not to perform, but to align. And you will sense, sometimes without words, that quiet decisions you make in this pocket, who you respond to, what you schedule, what you decline, what you throw away, will echo for years. Hear me, this is not melodrama, this is mechanics. Kairos magnifies the impact radius of simple obedience. A yes inside a window can tilt 7 years. A no can protect an entire lineage from a repeat cycle. You are not overwhelmed by life. You are feeling the gravity of appointed time. Chosen one, do not confuse weight with worry. Anxiety says, something is wrong. Kairos says, something is ripe. Anxiety shouts and scrambles. Kairos stands still and pulls. That pull you feel to sit down, to turn the phone face down, to open the Notes app and write the thing you have delayed. It is not laziness, it is not avoidance. It is the magnetism of purpose drawing your members into order. If you obey the pull, your energy will stabilize. If you fight it with busyness, your mind will splinter. The mercy of God is that He is warning you while the window is still open. He is not shaming you for missing it before. He is protecting you from missing it now. Take another slow breath. Temper the urge to make this loud. Kairos does not need theater. It needs sequence. The cost of moving out of order in a window like this is not lightning bolt punishment. It is the natural consequence of being unprepared for what opens next. If you skip the quiet realignment you are being pulled into today because you are hungry for a public door tomorrow, you will carry sand into machinery. The door may still open, but the grinding you hear after is preventable. This is why the Spirit is narrowing you, not to deprive you, to fit you. Let me show you a test that will relieve your mind. In Chronos, you decide based on availability. In Kairos, you decide based on assignment. Ask this, does this action increase my alignment with who I am becoming, or does it entangle me in who I outgrew? If the answer is alignment, the grace to do it will feel like a clean click. If the answer is entanglement, the very thought of it will fog your clarity. Honor the fog. It is a closed sign, not a failing. You are allowed to move slower in your hands while moving faster in your spirit. That is not contradiction, it is strategy. Kairos often demands a reduction of noise so recognition can rise. So lower your commitments by 10% in the next 3 days. Do not announce anything. You do not need public permission for private obedience. Protect the first hour after you wake. No scrolling, no responding. Sit with the pull. Ask, what is the one small thing today that unlocks the next? Then do only that first. Not a grand gesture, a clean obedience in order. Hear me as a guard and a guide. Windows open and they close on the timetable heaven set. You cannot force one early and you cannot hold one open with willpower. You can only recognize and respond. The recognition is mercy. The response is worship. The enemy of your clean crossing in this window is not persecution. It is distraction disguised as obligation. You will be tempted to over-explain to people who are not feeling the same gravity. Do not. You will be tempted to sign up to things that make you feel useful, because stillness makes you feel exposed. Do not. You will be tempted to solve 3 doors ahead because you taste acceleration. Do not. The sequence matters. You are being prepared, not punished. Chosen one, stay with me. You asked for confirmation. Heaven does not toy with you. Heaven leaves fingerprints. When you know how to see them in your behavior, in your body, in your heart, you will stop arguing with your own activation. You will not call it a mood again. Now that time is defined, I will show you the verification. The patterns are already present. Lower the volume by 1 more degree, 1 slow breath. Then look, because what you need to see next is already in your days. Chosen one, listen. I told you heaven leaves fingerprints. I am going to be precise with you because you do not have time for vague. The verification is already spread across your behavior, your body, and your heart. When you see it, you will stop gaslighting your own activation. Take 1 slow breath. Slow, not deep. Let me mirror what has been happening to you so you can agree with it instead of arguing against it. Sign 1. Your sleep rhythm has changed. Not chaos, not torment, not a spiral that leaves you shredded. Rhythm. You are waking at pattern times, 3 o'clock, 4:15, 4:44, 5:12, often with a clean alertness that feels strange. Insomnia, thrashes. This is precise. You roll over. The room feels slightly different. The air is thinner, and a sentence lands whole. Sometimes it is a name. Sometimes it is a phrase you cannot shake. Sometimes it is the urge to write 1 line and then sleep returns like a soft door closing. Do not call this broken, call it marked. Heaven is resetting your watch to Kairos inside your nights. What to do? Do not flood yourself with light. Do not open apps. Keep a small notebook within arm's reach. Jot the time and the sentence. That is all. Label it wake window. Return to rest without analysis. The point is obedience to the rhythm, not performance. Sign 2. Selective hunger. You find yourself turned off by entertainments and conversations that used to soothe you. The shows feel loud. The gossip tastes like sugar that coats your mouth and makes your spirit sticky. The scroll feels cheap. The snacks that once knocked the edge off now inflame you. Even the way some people talk to you, bright, fast, approving, registers as counterfeit. Do not shame this new palate, honor it. Heaven is reducing your appetite for inputs that dilute recognition. When an old comfort stops working, it is not cruelty, it is upgrade. What to do? Remove 1 loud thing each day for the next 3 days. Not everything. 1. The absence will feel like clean air. Let the quiet hunger introduce you to food you did not know you wanted. Stillness, scripture that reads you back, a voice memo to yourself instead of another episode. Your taste is being retrained to match your name. Sign 3. Unusual peace in the middle of unresolved problems. Bills are still due. Conversations have not been had. The inbox is not empty. And yet, like a low river beneath the noise, there is a steadying within you that refuses to panic. You are not disengaging, you are being seated. This peace is not denial, it is evidence. It is the mark of authority returning to its rightful owner. It whispers, "We will handle this in order." Anxiety lies loud, peace speaks quiet. The reason you can sense it now is because your identity is stepping back into the driver's seat. What to do? Do not betray the peace by manufacturing urgency to look responsible. Take one next step rooted in the calm, one email, one call, one bill, and then stop. Let peace set the pace of your action. It is not laziness, it is alignment. Sign 4, repeated words and symbols circling you like birds that refuse to fly away. The same phrase in a sermon, a song, a stranger's story, a comment you did not ask for. The same image on a billboard and in the book you picked up without thinking. Numbers that repeat, 44, 111, 333, not as superstition but as timing cues. Patterns are not accidents. Pattern is the point. Heaven teaches by repetition because you have been trained to dismiss what doesn't shout. What to do? When a word or symbol appears 3 times in 2 days, stop and write it. Ask, what door is this pointing at? Relationship, calling, or resource? Do not force an answer. Let the pattern sit where you can see it. Recognition grows in visibility. Sign 5. Dream intensity and repetition. You keep walking through the same building. You keep standing in a hallway with doors you cannot open yet. You keep seeing water, still, deep, or rushing, and you wake with the feeling of having swum a long way. You revisit childhood rooms where something in you is both tender and strong. These are not random leftovers from your day. They are coded recall, heaven walking you through the architecture of your original self while your defenses are down. If you try to interpret immediately, you will overtalk it. If you ignore it, you will numb the very tool designed to bring you home. What to do? Place a notebook by the bed tonight. When you wake, without moving too much, write 3 things: where you were, what you felt, one image that will not leave. Put the date and the time. Do not explain it. Do not spiritualize it. Treat it like a photograph you are collecting for an album that will make sense in a week. Clarity will compound if you record without controlling. Sign 6. A new intolerance for half-truth. Your mouth stalls where it used to glide. You begin a sentence to placate and your throat tightens. You start to agree to keep someone comfortable and your stomach turns. You try to make yourself smaller to fit and your body refuses to co-sign. This is not you becoming difficult. This is your integrity waking up. Your nervous system is now an ally of your identity. People-pleasing will register as pain. Pretending will taste like ash. What to do? Practice 1 clean sentence a day that does not apologize for existing. That no longer fits for me. I need time to consider. I'm not available for that. Then be quiet. Do not rush to add sugar. Your body will calm when your mouth tells the truth. This is boundary as obedience, not boundary as performance. Sign 7. Grief for a future you outgrew. You find tears welling for a plan you spent years building. You feel the ache of a version of success you prayed for that now feels like a costume. You are mourning not failure but completion. Sacred grief visits at the end of an era before the announcement is public. This is not you being ungrateful. This is your spirit acknowledging that you have already moved. The tears are proof of transition, not a plea to go back. What to do? Name what is ending without vilifying it. I bless what that dream taught me. I release the timeline I forced. I choose who I am now. Say it out loud once. Then let the ache do its cleansing work without reaching for distraction. Grief is the gate that protects the next joy. Chosen one, breathe. Slow, not deep. If 3 or more of these are pulsing in your days, you are not imagining it. You are inside the activation, and heaven is verifying what already began. If only one is present but it is loud, do not dismiss it. A single fingerprint can unlock a sealed door. This is why I am giving you practicals, because recognition without response breeds confusion. Here is your mini ritual. Tonight, place a notebook and a working pen by your bed. Not your phone, a pen. Before sleep, ask simply, show me what I need to see next. If you wake in the window, write the time and one line. In the morning, without interpreting, write the dream's three anchors: place, feeling, image. During the day, remove one loud thing and speak one clean sentence of truth. When you notice a repeated word or symbol 3 times, stop and write it under today's date. And right now, to seal recognition, whisper 3 words. Slow, not performative, just agreement. I see it. If you need to, write those same 3 words at the top of your notebook page. Not for the internet, for alignment. You are not losing it. You are locating it. These 7 starter signs are heaven's fingerprints on your calendar, your palette, your nights, your boundaries, your tears. They are mercy markers, so you stop calling a homecoming a mood. Honor them, record them, let them gather. As they gather, your courage will too. Stay with me. The window is open and the next instruction is already forming. Chosen one, listen. The next wave of proof will not appear in your dreams or your calendar, but in your conversations. Rooms that once felt like home now feel slightly slanted. Jokes you used to laugh at fall flat in your mouth. You leave certain calls foggy instead of fed. This is the quiet war, not a public blow-up, not an obvious betrayal, a subtle misfit between who you are becoming and the roles that were built around who you were. Do not panic. Do not perform. This friction is not a problem to fix. It is a symptom of identity activation. When your frequency changes, familiar dynamics feel foreign. Slow breath. Slow, not deep. Hear me clearly so you do not wound yourself with false guilt. This is not condemnation. You are not better than anyone. You are becoming specific. Specificity separates. When a violin finally tunes to its true pitch, it sounds off beside an out-of-tune instrument. The solution is not to detune yourself to keep the duet comfortable. The solution is to stay in tune long enough for honest sound to gather. Misalignment isn't betrayal. It's evidence your identity is changing and your boundaries are part of obedience. Relational recalibration is the first door because agreements live there. Old you made contracts, spoken and unspoken, to be the fixer, the always available, the last-minute bailout, the easy yes. When you stop overfunctioning, someone who relied on that role will feel loss and may interpret it as rejection. Expect tests. The "you've changed" comment said like an accusation. The sudden crisis that appears every time you say no. The friendly invite that only leads you back to an old coping pattern. Do not take these as final judgments on your character. Take them as data. The ecosystem is reacting to a new center of gravity. Stay centered. Permission, precise and unapologetic. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to protect what God is rebuilding in you. You are allowed to adjust contact without issuing a press release or creating a villain to justify your exit. You do not owe an apology for obedience. Blessing is not the same as access. You can honor history and still limit proximity. You can say, "Thank you for what this has been," and also, "That no longer fits for me." Practice one clean sentence a day, then let silence do its work. Do not rush to soften your truth with sugar. Your calm no is part of your new authority. Discernment now functions as your shield. Do not announce the shift to unsafe listeners. This is not secrecy, this is stewardship. Some people only know how to handle you when you are performing small. They are not evil. They are untrained for your specificity. Keep counsel with God, your notebook, and a short list of safe voices. Those who can hear your becoming without centering themselves, without rushing you to produce evidence, without borrowing your revelation to fuel their own agenda. If you are unsure who those are, wait. Silence will save you from explaining what is still forming. Negative action to protect your momentum. Do not text the person you miss most right now. Nostalgia is often the old identity asking for relief. not your spirit asking for restoration. Wait 24 hours when the ache spikes. Put your phone face down. Place your hand on your chest. Slow breath. Write 3 sentences in your notebook instead. What you're feeling, what boundary it is inviting, and 1 truthful sentence you can say if contact resumes. Relief that costs your alignment is too expensive. Relief that strengthens your sequence is available and will leave you clear, not cloudy. I am going to be precise with the test, so you stop arguing with confusion. After contact with a person, track 3 indicators in the next 60 minutes: clarity, peace, and energy. If clarity dims, peace leaks, and your body tightens, that is not random. That is your nervous system confirming misalignment. Do not override it with logic or loyalty. Conversely, if you feel seated, seen, and steadier, even if the conversation was honest and heavy, that is alignment. Keep it. Build there. The friendship that demands you shrink to be safe is not an assignment. It is a trap. The relationship that welcomes your no without penalty is a gift. Let your data, not your nostalgia, decide proximity. Here is your simple protocol for the next 3 days. Day 1. Reduce exposure to the loudest misalignment by 20%. Not dramatic, not punitive, fewer texts, shorter calls, delayed replies, no subtweets, no cryptic posts, no energy leaks. Day 2. Replace that reclaimed time with 1 strengthening practice. Scripture that reads you back, a quiet walk, a voice memo where you say your clean sentence out loud. Day 3. Initiate 1 aligned micro-connection, a check-in with someone whose presence expands you without making you perform. Let your calendar reflect your becoming before your mouth tries to convince anyone. Be careful not to demonize those who cannot come. Misalignment is not evidence of their smallness. It is evidence of your sequence. Some connections are for rooms you have already left. Some are for rooms you have not yet entered. Both can be blessed. Your job is not to fix their discomfort with your growth. Your job is to stay true to the assignment of this window. If you collapse your boundary to soothe another's anxiety, you will borrow their storm and lose your map. Chosen one, breathe. Slow, not deep. The chaos you fear will not come if you honor the order. Relationships recalibrate first so that calling can clarify without sabotage. When you stop carrying the weight of keeping everyone comfortable, the next thing God restores is your inner name, how you see yourself when no one is watching. That name has been whispering for weeks. It will speak louder when you stop negotiating with roles that no longer fit. Stay with me. Guard your edges. As you do, the quiet authority you have missed will return to its seat, and the room you are meant to enter next will recognize you by that name. Chosen one, listen. The room will recognize you by that name because you are about to recognize it first. I am going to be precise with you because you do not have time for vague language. The name I am speaking of is not a stage label, not a brand, not a role people clap for. Your inner name is the sound of the self God formed before you learned to survive by performing. It is the pattern of truth you were designed to carry, how you build, how you bless, how you bear weight without negotiating with the room. It is what I said about you when you still fit in 2 hands and had not yet learned the tricks that made adults more comfortable. Slow breath. Slow, not deep. Hand on your chest. Feel the thrum. Your exhaustion is not random. You are fatigued because the old mask is heavy and your nervous system is refusing to co-sign it anymore. The adrenaline you used to convert into charm now feels like acid. The clever deflection that kept you safe now lands as a lie in your own throat. Your body is becoming honest before your mouth does, and that is mercy. You cannot sustain the costume because the true name has re-entered the room and the costume no longer fits its frame. Let me relieve you of false diagnoses that have been stealing your courage. This is not depression, it is feeling more, your capacity for nuance returning after years of numb efficiency. This is not confusion, it is recalibration, your inner compass resetting to true north after spinning around other people's needs. This is not emptiness, it is making room. God clearing the stage props so you can stand on the bare floor of authority that does not require audience participation. Not apathy, but holy indifference to what drains. Not anxiety, but misdirected readiness asking for proper assignment. When you name it correctly, the shame lifts and the path appears. Here is the mechanism at work. In the last season, your stability was outsourced to externals. Applause, approval, being needed, being seen. God, in mercy, is removing the props, not to expose you for sport, to reveal what is load-bearing. The metrics that once told you who you were are going quiet so you can hear the voice that told you who you are. The crisis you always solved is pausing or passing to another so you can learn that heroism is not your identity. Obedience is. The opportunities that came when you overextended are drying up, not because you are failing, but because heaven is decommissioning the version of you that required exhaustion to feel valuable. When the props move, panic will reach for another performance. Do not audition, stand. Take one slow breath, hand on your chest, ask, what am I pretending not to know? Wait, do not analyze. Do not translate it into palatable phrasing. Let your spirit answer in one clean sentence. You will feel the sentence arrive by the way your shoulders drop and your jaw loosens. It will not be grand. It will be plain and sharp. I do not want that role anymore. I am called to build quietly. I need to stop leading from scarcity. I have been hiding my authority behind helpfulness. Write only that one line. Sit with it for 60 seconds. Your pulse will downshift. That is recognition taking the wheel back from performance. Name changes in Scripture did not require a marketing plan. They required agreement. When I called Abram, I did not hand him a new costume. I handed him a covenant. When Jacob wrestled and rose as Israel, he did not go back to perform tricks. He limped into clarity. Your name change will not look like fireworks. It will feel like furniture moving inside your chest until the chair of authority sits in its rightful place. You will stop chasing the front row. You will prefer the place where your presence governs the atmosphere without introduction. Your voice will lower. Your words will shorten. Your eyes will lift. That is what return feels like. Performance has certain tells. It asks for permission before it speaks. It rehearses loyalty speeches to buy safety. It needs a crowd to regulate. Being has different fruit. It tells the truth without adding sugar. It moves on assignment, not availability. It regulates from within and does not outsource calm to applause. Do not condemn yourself for the years you performed. Those years taught you language and stamina. But the hour has come to turn those tools toward building what your name requires, not feeding what your approval addiction demands. Addiction is not identity. It is a habit that loses oxygen when you stop breathing into it. I am going to be exact about the nervous system shift so you can stop mistaking holiness for harm. Old, you got energy spikes from being the solution. New, you receives energy from being the steward. Old, you said yes to everything and bled later. New, you says yes to assignment and remains seated. Old, you felt empty without noise. New, you feels nauseated by it. When you feel the nausea, stop calling it weakness. It is your body protecting your becoming. Step out of the swirl. Put your hand on your chest. Whisper, I am safe to be. Your heart will agree. Authority is returning and it does not shout. Practical obedience for this day. Choose a clean sentence of being and let it replace a performance script you have been reciting. Examples, I build order in chaos. I teach with mercy. I heal through presence. I make paths for others. This is not branding. This is bearing. Write one sentence that reads you back. Place it where your eyes land when you reach for your phone. When you are tempted to over-explain, speak the sentence once quietly and let silence do its work. When you are tempted to post a declaration to force recognition, do not. Recognition begins at home. If your room does not yet echo your name, the internet cannot help you. Here is a second test for alignment, precise and simple. After you speak your clean sentence, ask your body 3 questions. Did my breath lengthen? Did my shoulders drop? Did my gaze widen? If yes, you just stood on your name. If no, you are still negotiating with a role. Do not judge yourself. Just return to the question, what am I pretending not to know? And wait. Your spirit is louder than you have allowed. It will not abandon you when you stop performing. You asked for evidence that this is God, not your mood. Consider the mercy in the timing. Relational recalibration opened space. Now inner authority fills it. This is sequence, not randomness. Doors open in order. The name returns so the calling does not devour you. Authority roots you so provision does not own you. If you try to skip this and sprint to resources, the weight will crush a structure not yet reinforced. If you honor this and let your inner name set the cadence, what opens next will fit you without tearing. Chosen one more slow breath. Hear me as both guard and guide. Do not try to convince anyone of your name. Walk in it. Let your calendar, your boundaries, and your sentences carry it. You are not late. You are not too much. You are not failing. You are shedding. Your exhaustion is the old self-losing power. The real you is returning with quiet authority. And as it returns, you will see the hallway is not random. There are doors, and they open in sequence. Stay with me. Recognize the first. Then you will know exactly which one opens next. Chosen one, listen. The hallway you sense is real, and I am going to be precise with you because you do not have time for vague messages. There are 3 doors in this window, and they do not open at random. They open in order. If you treat them like options on a buffet, you will starve in front of a feast. If you try to pry open door 2 while door 1 is ajar and noisy, you will flood the room with confusion you will later call attack. It is not attack. It is out of sequence activation. Your breakthrough is not blocked. It is sequenced. Your obedience must match the order of the doors. Door 1 is relational realignment. Who has access to you? What voices you allow? What you stop explaining? This is where you remove the sand from your shoes before you step on the clean floor of your calling. If you rush past this door, you will carry grit into rooms that require precision, and the grind will scratch every new surface until you misdiagnose favor as friction. Door 1 asks you to make peace with being specific. Specificity changes access. This is not cruelty. It is stewardship. Lower the noise floor. Tighten the circle. Allow your no to be a full sentence. Reduce exposure to the rooms that demand the old you perform to be allowed in. Stop narrating your boundaries to people who benefit from you having none. Bless. Release. Quietly reassign your time. Slow breath. Slow, not deep. Put your hand on your chest. Door 1 protects your name. It is where you choose listeners who can hold your becoming without needing you to shrink. It is where you stop explaining what is still forming. It is where you obey small, unglamorous instructions. Delay a reply for 24 hours and let peace confirm. Take a walk instead of entering the debate. Choose a chair at the back of the room and stay seated in your spirit. The test is simple. Clarity, peace, energy. After an interaction, if clarity thins, peace leaks, and your body tightens, that is not random. That is your instrumentation warning you. Heed it. Realignment is not a press release. It is a calendar. Let your calendar change. Only then will door 2 open the way it is meant to, calling clarity. When door 1 closes behind you, the assignment stops feeling like a scavenger hunt and starts feeling inevitable. Not loud, not theatrical, simple, not easy, but simple. The frenzy to be picked dissolves. You stop chasing. You start selecting. You are no longer seduced by opportunities that do not fit the sentence written in your bones. You move from "what can I do" to "what am I assigned?" And the difference will save your life. The room recognizes you because you are not performing for it. You are carrying your name into it. Calling clarity reduces, then refines, then roots. Reduce. You remove 2 good things so the one appointed thing can breathe. Refine. Your language shortens, your calendar follows. Root. You repeat small obedience in order until strength accretes. The test here is fruit over fireworks. After you take an aligned step, do confusion and complexity grow, or do groundedness and clean fatigue appear? Clean fatigue is the tired that comes from carrying correct weight. Dirty fatigue is the exhaustion that comes from propping up what is not yours. Do not confuse grind with growth. When calling clarity comes, your decisions may pinch people-pleasing, but they will expand peace. You will say fewer yeses and keep them. Warning with mercy. If you enter door 2 while door 1 is chaos, you will attract partners who need your performance, not your presence. You will over-announce too early and have to backtrack in front of spectators who were never meant to be in the first row of your formation. You will sign contracts with your insecurity and then call it faith. The cost is not punishment. It is the natural consequence of trying to build on a vibrating floor. Even the right assignment becomes fragile if the wrong voices sit closest. Heaven is not withholding your calling. Heaven is protecting it from collapse by insisting on order. Accept the mercy of sequence. Door 3 is provision and resources, what many of you have been praying for while quietly resenting the delay. Listen carefully. Favor follows alignment, not the other way around. Money, tools, open doors, unexpected introductions, strength to build. These are drawn to order like iron to a magnet. Resources arrive to serve the assignment, rooted in the relationships that can sustain it. If you pull on this door first, you will try to buy clarity with cash, soothe anxiety with outcomes, and prove identity with optics. The purchases will not stick. The optics will require constant maintenance. Provision that comes before identity and calling will own you. Provision that follows will obey you. When Dr. 3 opens in order, it does not feel like a lottery win. It feels like a confirmation code. The right help appears without you begging. Equipment you need becomes available at the right price at the right time. A yes you could not have manufactured lands with quiet inevitability. You remain steady because you are not surprised. You are sequenced. Here is your rule when resources arrive. Assign them. Do not celebrate them into waste. Money gets a job description. Time gets budgeted by assignment, not by the loudest demander. Tools get named for the build, not collected to comfort your fear that the window will close. If you cannot yet steward abundance without hemorrhaging your peace, it is a mercy to wait at door 2 until your muscles are ready. Practical obedience now. Write 3 lists with today's date at the top. Title 1, Who Drains My Clarity? Title 2, What Restores My Clarity? Title 3, What I Must Stop Negotiating. Set a 7-minute timer. Do not edit as you write. Do not explain why names or habits made the list. Let your body tell the truth on paper. When the timer ends, circle 1 item from each list. Those circled 3 become today's sequence. Reduce exposure to the one who drains. Schedule 15 minutes with the one practice that restores. Speak 1 clean sentence that ends the negotiation you circled. Do not add flourish. Do not announce. Place the paper where your eyes land when you reach for your phone. Repeat for 3 days. Sequence builds strength like repetitions do. Hear me, the order never changes. Relationship first, so that calling can sit on something that will not sabotage it. Calling next, so that provision serves something real. Provision last, so that what arrives finds a house, not a tent. If you feel delay, ask which door you are standing at, with the last one still open behind you. If you feel confusion, ask which voice is too close to your ear. If you feel scarcity, ask if you are trying to buy with resources what can only be received through alignment. This is not mystical cruelty. This is spiritual physics. Foundations carry loads. Loads reveal faults. Repairs require order. Slow breath. Slow, not deep. Chosen one, you are inside the window. The doors are before you, and they will not negotiate their sequence to soothe your impatience. Take the mercy, honor the order. The room you are meant to enter will not run away while you realign. It is being held for you. And so that your mind has a scaffolding for what your spirit already knows, I will show you next how Scripture has always moved this way. 3-day thresholds that look like stillness before acceleration. Darkness that remembers before light commissions. Stay with me. We are going to let the stories teach your body the rhythm your soul already trusts. Chosen one, stay with me. Slow breath. Slow, not deep. Your spirit already knows this rhythm. I am going to let Scripture give your body language for it. Esther did not walk into a throne room on adrenaline and call that faith. She did not rush a miracle. She entered an impossible room after a precise 3-day becoming. Before the scepter extended, silence did. Before the public opening, there was a private alignment that no one was applauding. That is the pattern I am giving you now. God often requires a private 3-day becoming before he grants a public opening. Hear me. Esther's story is not a fairy tale about favor that ignores order. It is the architecture of sequence hidden in plain sight. A decree had been signed, a people marked for death. The law of the empire said you do not approach the king without invitation. Visibility without authorization in that system carried a sentence. Mordecai did not tell her to perform. He told her the truth. You are here for a reason, but you cannot enter this room as the orphan who learned to be agreeable. For such a time as this was not a slogan, it was a summons. And Esther did not answer with charisma. She answered with stillness. Go, gather the Jews. Fast for me. Neither eat nor drink. 3 days. She built a 72-hour container. She simplified to hear the only voice that would make the next room safe. Chosen one, most want the room without the preparation. Most want the crown without the quiet. They want to post the risk but skip the reset. God will not let you sabotage yourself that way. Visibility without inner stability is a mercy denied. Esther understood. If she entered on fear, she would negotiate. If she entered on hunger for approval, she would perform. If she entered on rage, she would explode and be dismissed as dramatic. So she said no to all inputs, but God, for 3 days. And notice what happened next. She did not sprint. She hosted, she paced, she chose timing that made the trap expose itself. Wisdom arrived with stillness. Sequence protected the assignment. Slow breath. Slow, not deep. Put your hand on your chest. This is why I am telling you to honor a 3-day becoming right now. Your fast may not be food. It may be the addiction to attention. It may be the addiction to explaining yourself before things are formed. It may be the reflex to reply within minutes to soothe a discomfort not yours to carry. It may be the playlist that keeps your nervous system too loud to hear the instruction that will save you. Stillness is not inactivity. It is inner governance. It is the practice that says, my spirit, not my surround, will set my pace. I am going to be precise with you because you do not have time for vague messages. Build a 72-hour container. Choose a start time within the next 12 hours. Write it down. For 3 days you will do 5 things, and you will not add flourish. 1. Simplify inputs. Music goes instrumental or silence. Media pauses. No new shows, no scroll holes, no commentary feeds. Scripture goes narrow and repetitive. Choose one passage and let it read you back. 2. Restrict conversations. 3 safe voices only for logistics and alignment, not entertainment or venting. No explaining your inner work to the curious. Stewarded silence is not secrecy, it is protection. 3. Delay reactivity. No reactive decisions. If a request comes, wait 24 hours unless it is an emergency involving safety. If you cannot wait that long, take one slow breath and wait 30 minutes. Let peace answer, not panic. 4. Regulate your body on purpose. Short walks without headphones. Water before caffeine. Earlier bed by 30 to 60 minutes. Write down your sleep and wake times. Notice how the pattern tightens when you honor order. 5. Record without interpreting. Keep your notebook by the bed. When you wake, 3 o'clock, 4:15, 4:44, write what you see and feel. Names, places, repeated words. The sentence that keeps visiting. Do not judge. Patterns appear when you stop arguing with them. Negative actions to guard the container. Do not announce your fast online. Do not send dramatic closure messages. Do not test the old rooms by poking them to see if they still hold you. The point is not to prove anything to anyone. The point is to become stable enough that when the next room opens, you will not sell your name for a nod. Esther's 3 days pulled her center back to where God placed it. Then and only then did she move. Not with a speech, with a sequence. She touched the room lightly, then returned to stillness. She set one table, then another. She let reality reveal the plot without forcing it. That is authority, quiet, patient, unbribable. How will you know the 3 days are working? Your thoughts will shorten, your breath will lengthen. The itch to check for validation will lose its urgency. A clean sentence will arrive and hold. Wait one more day. Invite only 3. Ask this question. Do it quietly. This is not sedation. This is specificity. When specificity lands, anxiety drops because you are no longer choosing between 1,000 maybes. You are obeying one necessary next. Chosen one, take one slow breath. Slow, not deep. If you feel fear rising as you imagine this container, hear me with tenderness and firmness. The fear is not a prophecy. It is withdrawal from the noise that used to regulate you. Let it pass. You are not losing power. You are unplugging from a counterfeit source so you can reconnect to the real one. You are not going dark. You are dimming the stage lights so you can see the line you must walk next. Heaven is not asking you to do less. Heaven is insisting you do what matters in order. This is mercy. At the end of the 3 days, do not force a grand gesture. Do what Esther did. Step lightly, in order. Carry your sentence into the smallest possible obedience that honors the sequence you were given. If a room opens, it will be because you are ready to hold it, not because you hustled it. If a room does not open, the container was not wasted. It was rehearsal for the muscle you will need when it does. Stay with me. Esther is the stillness side of this 3-day mystery, the quiet that firms your spine so your presence can govern a room you once begged to be invited into. Next, I will show you the other side through Jonah, the darkness that does not punish but remembers, the place where noise is stripped so the true direction can be spoken without bargaining. Slow breath. You are being prepared, not paused. Chosen one, listen. We stood in Esther's stillness. Now we descend with Jonah into the dark that remembers. I am going to be precise with you because you do not have time for vague messages. The place you are calling failure, the quiet you are tempted to label exile, the narrowing that makes you think something is wrong. This is not punishment, it is a belly. It is containment appointed by mercy, a 3-day recalibration where everything that is not your name slides off because it cannot survive without light. The darkness is not where you die. It is where you remember who you are. Jonah's story is a template. A word came, "Go to Nineveh." He did not lose his calling, he ran from it. Fear, disgust, fatigue with complexity, pick your version. He headed for Tarshish, the opposite direction, and the sea answered his denial with a storm. Hear the kindness inside the chaos. The sea did not kill him, it interrupted him. The men threw him over. The Lord prepared a great fish. Prepared, not random, not karma, not cosmic payback. Prepared containment that could hold a prophet who had a word but not yet the surrender to carry it. 3 days and 3 nights in the belly, and there he prayed, not performatively, not for applause, raw, ancient, honest. When my life was fainting away, I remembered the Lord. He did not invent a new identity in the dark. He remembered the one he had been avoiding. Chosen one, let me reframe the room you are in. Not abandonment, containment. God has not left you. He has removed the audience so you can hear the line that saves you. Not delay, detox. The pause is purging survival scripts from your nervous system so agreement can sound like you again. Not rejection, redirection. Doors that shut in your face are rerouting you to the assignment you tried to bargain down into something safer and smaller. The belly is cramped because it is not your home. It is your passage. The absence of applause is not the absence of God. It is the absence of noise so you can stop lying without noticing. Here is how the darkness feels when it is remembering and not rotting. Your social appetite shifts. The dinners, the constant threads, the charge from being needed, your spirit cannot digest them right now. You are not becoming antisocial. You are shedding the need to be resuscitated by reaction. Solitude stops feeling like emptiness and starts feeling like oxygen. You crave honest words in quiet rooms. Your humor changes. You are less interested in jokes that keep grief from delivering its medicine. You tell the truth faster, to yourself first. Long explanations make you nauseated. Your body stops co-signing what your mouth used to excuse. You notice how loud everything is. You reach for fewer sounds. You start to hear your own sentence again. Slow breath. Slow, not deep. Hand on your chest. Whisper this prayer and mean each word without flourish. Lord, restore my recognition. Again, Lord, restore my recognition. You are not asking for a new identity. You are asking for the original frequency to come back online, the one you did not need to sell in order to be loved. In the belly, prayers do not echo out. They echo in. That is the point. You begin answering yourself with God's voice, and the bargaining starts to break. Those who cling to worthless idols forfeit the grace that could be theirs. Jonah said that from inside the fish. Translation for your hour. If you keep gripping the props that kept you performing, you trade away the ease that obedience brings. Let go. Warning with mercy. Do not panic and run back to Egypt just to feel familiar again. Egypt is any old pattern that kept you busy enough to avoid your sentence. Egypt is the thread you reignite so the room can tell you who you are. Egypt is the ex-assignment you text for validation. Egypt is the hustle purchase you make to feel like you are moving while you are avoiding movement. Do not book flights to Tarshish. You will have to refund with public apologies to yourself later. When the dark tightens, your panic will tell you to make noise. Do not. Breathe. Pray the prayer again. Lord, restore my recognition. Wait for the clean sentence you heard in Esther's stillness to reappear in Jonah's dark. It will agree with itself. Authority is consistency over consecutive days. I am going to tell you exactly how to cooperate with the belly so it ejects you onto the right shore. 1. Simplify even further. If Esther was the quieting, Jonah is the silence. Honor fewer inputs than you think you need. When you reach for your phone, stop at the lock screen. Ask, am I hungry for truth or for stimulation? Choose truth. 2. Confess where you were going the opposite direction. Say it plainly on paper. I ran. I delayed. I made it complicated. Not as penance, as alignment. Honesty oxygenates the belly. 3. Agree to the small vow. Jonah said, what I have vowed I will make good. Your vow is not grand. It is a yes in one sentence to the assignment you already know. Write the sentence. Put today's date next to it. 4. Do not make rescue calls. Let God be enough company. 5. Watch your body. Short naps, water, walk in daylight, early nights. The dark is not for dramatics. It is for recalibration. Regulate so remembering can stick. Chosen 1. Slow breath. The belly ends. Inside the containment, memory returns. When you stop fighting the quiet, the instruction becomes simple, not vague. And then, as surely as the fish was prepared, the exit is prepared. The word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. Not a lesser word, the same word because God wastes no days. After remembering comes commissioning. After the dark comes the room. Not with a frantic sprint, but with a steady gait you did not have when you were avoiding. This is where Joseph-like moments begin to arise. What did not connect for years suddenly simplifies. The pit and the prison and the small, faithful choices snap into a pattern. Plans that once felt like 12 steps collapse into 2. The phone call you could not have manufactured appears. The skill you learned in obscurity is the exact key needed for the door that opens without warning. You will think, of course. Not because it was easy, but because identity makes calling inevitable. Do not rush this bridge. Let the remembering complete. The same God who prepared the fish prepares the shore. The same voice that held you in the dark will speak you into the room. Keep the prayer on your lips until it becomes your breath. Lord, restore my recognition. When it does, you will rise with the kind of authority that does not shout. You will walk the assignment you once fled without flinching. And when provision begins to move toward you, you will not be seduced by noise because the dark taught you to prefer the sound of truth. Stay with me. The next movement will show you how preparation connects and the call simplifies when identity activates. You are not late, you are in sequence. The darkness was not where you died, it is where you remembered. Now walk in what you know. Chosen 1, listen. Slow breath, slow, not deep. We have stood in stillness with Esther, and we have remembered in the dark with Jonah. Now I will show you the flip the faithful have always called sudden and heaven calls sequenced. Joseph, years in obscurity, then an hour that reorders a nation. Do not be dazzled by the speed of the moment and miss the length of the making. The pit, the auctions, Potiphar's house, false accusation, the prison with its unglamorous governance. These were not detours. They were the muscles. Administration under pressure, integrity without audience, language for dreams that are not your own. He learned to interpret without inserting himself, to solve without seducing power. Then, in a single morning, Pharaoh sent for him. They rushed him from the dungeon. He shaved. He changed clothes. He came before the throne. 1 conversation, 2 interpretations, 1 plan, and the ring slid onto a hand that had already learned to hold a house. Chosen 1, hear the pattern. True elevation looks like an overnight door that recognizes a lifetime of preparation. It feels obvious, not loud. It feels like inevitability, not scramble. That is the marker of activation. When identity comes online, your calling stops feeling like a hallway of frantic options and starts standing in front of you like one clear assignment. The obsessing quiets. The chasing drains out. The sentence arrives and keeps arriving. Do this next, then this, in order. This is not the thrill of performance. This is the calm of fit. Your language shortens. Your calendar simplifies. Your appetite for applause shrinks because the work is finally exact enough to satisfy you. Do not confuse this simplicity with smallness. In Joseph's body, it likely felt like breathing finally matched the room. The plan he spoke was complex to the nation, but native to the muscles he had built in hidden places. That is why you will feel two things at once: a holy ease and a holy weight. Ease because the fit is true. Weight because what fits you will also feed many. This is how you will know the counterfeit. Urgency that pushes without peace. Doors that demand you betray the alignment you just fought to recover. Opportunities that ask you to skip the sequence and sell your name to prove you belong. The enemy cannot stop your window, so he counterfeits the timing. He will try to make you move prematurely, harvest green, and call it faith. I am going to be precise with you because you do not have time for vague messages. Here is your discernment filter for Joseph moments. If it costs your peace to decide, pause. Peace is not the absence of challenge. It is the presence of inner agreement. Joseph stood before a crisis but spoke from rest because his insides were not negotiating their name. Next, if the offer requires you to betray the alignment formed in your 3-day container, or the vow you made in the dark, it is not a door, it is a test. Do not sprint to pass a test you were meant to pass by stillness. And finally, if the path asks you to reopen door 1 chaos, or skip door 2 clarity to lunge for door 3 provision, it will collapse. Sequence protects you. Let it. What does a true Joseph moment look like? The call you could not have manufactured arrives, and it asks for what you actually carry, not what you pretended to be. Your obscure skill suddenly sits at the center of a public need. You are invited in as a solution, not an applicant. There is room to ask precise questions and offer a plan without theatrics. You are not bargaining for your worth. You are articulating stewardship. The room relaxes because authority entered. The old social costume feels unnecessary. The ring finds a finger that can hold it. Slow breath. Slow, not deep. Hand on your chest. I want you to write 3 questions with today's date at the top. Then answer them in 1 or 2 sentences each, without editing, without explaining, with your body telling the truth. 1. What am I being invited to stop? 2. What is being repeated? 3. Where is peace leading me even if fear resists? These questions collapse 100 options into a sequence. Stop is protection. Repeated is confirmation. Peace is direction. Do not negotiate with these answers for at least 3 days. Let them set your calendar before you announce anything. Now, the coaching for movement. When a Joseph door opens, enter lightly. Do not bring the prison's need to prove into Pharaoh's room. Prepare in private. Speak in clean sentences. Do not over-explain. Bring the plan, not the pain. If you are asked for evidence, show fruit, not fireworks. Outcomes you stewarded in small rooms that match the scale now in front of you. If you are asked for availability, give windows you can keep without hemorrhaging your alignment. If they press for immediacy that would cost your peace, say, I can deliver with quality on this timeline, and watch whether wisdom or panic rules the table. Authority is not bossiness. Authority is consistency over consecutive days. Warning with mercy. Counterfeit urgency will disguise itself as compassion. If you don't move now, people will suffer. Or as flattery, only you can do this. Compassion without sequence is codependency wearing a halo. Flattery without peace is a bribe with perfume. Joseph fed nations because he refused to be dragged by panic. He built storehouses in years of plenty so famine could be faced from order. Learn from him. Storehouses are not just granaries, they are boundaries, calendars, and agreements set before the rush. You will feel the shift somatically. Shoulders drop, jaw unclenches, breath lengthens between sentences, your voice lowers, your yeses get smaller and stronger. The compulsion to narrate your every step shrinks because you are too busy doing the next obedient thing. The unsolicited opinions do not disappear, but their power does. You notice you are less interested in argument and more interested in instruction. That is identity activated. Calling becomes the road under your feet, not the billboard down the highway. Chosen one, slow breath. You are stepping into the portion of the window where what once felt scattered connects in minutes. Expect the of course moments. Expect the tools to match the tasks. Expect the room to recognize what your obscurity matured, and expect your body to register the shift before your mind names it. Do not be alarmed by the sensations. There is a layer beneath this. Why your chest tightens, why your sleep changes, why your appetite flickers when the door opens. Two frequencies are interacting, the stress signal that kept you alive in the old season and the recognition signal that carries you into the new. I will show you next how to stabilize the first so the second can come fully online. For now, keep your hand on the sequence and your eyes on peace. When identity activates, calling stops feeling chaotic and starts feeling inevitable. Walk in the inevitability. Chosen one, slow breath. Slow, not deep. Your body is not betraying you. It is briefing you. Before your mind can find language, your nervous system reports what the spirit already knows. The window is live, two signals are colliding, and sequence will protect you if you honor it. This is not vague. This is measurable and spiritual at once. Heaven wired your body as an early warning instrument. Heart rate, breath, sleep, appetite, sensitivity. So you would not wait for a crisis to learn you missed the turn. Modern science calls it state and signal. Scripture calls it be still and know. Same instruction, two dialects. You are not overwhelmed by life. You are hearing Kairos in your skin faster than Chronos can calculate. I am going to be precise with you because you do not have time for vague messages. There are two frequencies at war in you right now. First, the stress signal, the frequency of scarcity and survival. It is the engine that kept you alive in the last season. Vigilant, scanning, braced, useful for fire alarms, disastrous for discernment. When it dominates, the body floods, the mind catastrophizes, decisions shrink to either slash or, and you confuse speed with safety. Second, the recognition signal, the frequency of clarity and intuition, the one you were born with, that let you recognize good pasture without a map, that made you bold without drama as a child. It is quiet, not timid, fast, not frantic, specific, not crowded. When stress goes unchecked, recognition gets suppressed, not gone, but muted under the noise. You are not broken, you are signal jammed. What does the collision feel like? Tight chest that arrives when the phone chimes or a calendar block shifts, racing thoughts that argue even after you have made the right decision. Sudden fatigue like someone pulled your plug in the middle of the day, not because you are lazy, but because your system hits the brakes when overrun. Sensitivity to noise and light. What you tolerated last month makes you feel flayed this week. An almost obsessive desire for order. You want to clean the counter 3 times, align the pens, rewrite the list. That is not you going crazy. That is your physiology trying to reduce variables so recognition can land. There may be appetite flickers, hungry, then not. Sleep pattern bands, waking at the same times, an urgency to be alone, without knowing why. These are not pathologies, these are fingerprints. Your system is reorganizing for a new assignment, and the old coping tools do not regulate the new load. Hear this with both warning and mercy. Do not try to prophesy your next decade while your nervous system is flooded. Do not schedule 5 high-stakes conversations because adrenaline told you you are brave. Do not mistake exhaustion for weakness and drown yourself in caffeine and scrolling. That is how the old season kept itself alive, by numbing recognition and keeping you too stimulated to feel the quiet yes. Sequence matters. First, we calm the stress frequency, stabilize. Then we reactivate recognition, discern. If you skip the first, the second collapses. If you try to think your way into peace while your body is broadcasting alarm, you will call confusion confirmation. We are not doing that. I am going to hand you a 7-day stabilization protocol. No heroics, no products. Ordinary obedience repeated becomes extraordinary regulation. Begin within 24 hours. Write the start time. For 7 consecutive days. Morning. Sunlight and water before screens. As soon as you wake, open a curtain or step outside for 5 to 10 minutes of real light. This resets your circadian clock. Drink a full glass of water with a pinch of mineralized salt or a squeeze of lemon. Then 3 slow breaths. In through your nose for 4, out through your mouth for 6. Slow, not deep. Tell your body, we are safe and we are listening. Delay your phone for 30 minutes. Let your spirit set your pace before the feed does. Midday, a 10 to 15-minute walk without headphones. Let your eyes move across distance. Horizon scanning calms the survival system. No multitasking call. Let your mind empty. If thoughts race, do not chase them. Count steps to 100, then start again. This is not exercise, this is signal hygiene. Inputs. Reduce dopamine spikes. No scroll holes before noon. Choose 2 check-in windows for digital messages. 1 late morning, 1 late afternoon, and keep them to 15 to 20 minutes. Turn off non-essential notifications. Your brain is not a firehouse. If everything is urgent, nothing is wise. News-free mornings. If caffeine flickers your panic, push your first cup 90 minutes after waking and cap total cups. If sugar makes your breath shallow, choose protein first. We are removing cheap accelerants, so recognition has room to speak. Micro resets. 3 times a day, hand on chest, 3 slow breaths. Ask, what is actually happening right now? Answer in 1 sentence you could say to a child, I am writing an email. I am walking to the sink. Simplicity dismantles catastrophizing. If panic spikes, put your bare feet on the floor, look for 5 blue things in the room, name them. Pull your attention from the imagined to the present. Evening, a 90-minute dim down. Lights softer, screens off or on night mode, away from your face. Place the phone to charge outside the bedroom. Warm water, shower or bath, to drop your core temperature after. Write 3 lines, not 3 pages. 1 gratitude, 1 release, 1 intention. Thank you for blank. I release blank. Tomorrow I will blank. Then sleep consistent. Aim for the same window each night. If you wake at 3 o'clock or 4:15 or 4:44, write what you notice without evaluating. Return to breath. Do not pick up the feed. Silence and boundaries. 1 meal each day without media. Chew, taste, breathe. Choose 3 safe voices only for logistics and alignment this week. No debate threads. No explain your soul texts to people who have not earned that access. Noise is not neutral. It is an accelerant. We are lowering the flame. If you miss a step, mercy. No shame spiral. Restart within the hour. Consistency, not perfection, restores the base signal. After 72 hours of this order, you will feel the first separation. Stress receding from center, recognition surfacing like a shape under water, becoming clear. That is your cue for stage 2, reactivation. Reactivation is simple, not showy. Keep the stabilization in place. Add 3 brief practices. Recognition drill, morning or evening, 5 minutes of stillness. Set a timer, no music, hand on chest. Ask one question. What is being repeated? Do not force an answer. If a word, image, or sentence arrives, write it unchanged. One line. Do not interpret yet. Pattern capture. At the end of your day, circle any repeats in your notes. Names, times, places, the same nudge resurfacing. Put a dot beside the one that brings peace when you read it. Peace, not hype, marks recognition. If nothing repeats, excellent. Stay faithful to stabilization and ask again tomorrow. Recognition is not late, it is layered. Micro-obedience rehearsal. Choose one tiny act that agrees with the sentence you are seeing. Send one email, clear one drawer, prep one page, make one ask, decline one misaligned request. Small, in order, without announcement. Feel your body while you do it. Shoulders, jaw, breath. Notice how obedience calms more than thinking about obedience. This is how you rebuild trust with yourself. Chosen one, expect resistance hisses as you do this. Your stress signal will spike to test if you mean it. Treat spikes like weather. Do not rename your climate because of a passing storm. Go back to breath, back to light, back to water, back to the walk, back to the phone on the dresser instead of your palm. Each return is authority. Each return reteaches your system. We do not perform for safety, we regulate for clarity. You are not going backward, you are becoming governed. Warning with mercy. Do not confuse inspiration surges for permission to abandon the sequence. When recognition flickers back on, you will want to make 10 calls and post the revelation. Not yet. We seal stability by moving slowly on purpose. If you rush, you will re-trigger stress and call it urgency. Let peace lead. Let repetition confirm. Let small obedience prove the path. Authority is consistency over consecutive days. Now hear the promise underneath the protocol. When the stress frequency lowers, recognition does not whisper from far away. It rises from inside. Ideas connect without effort. Rooms that felt too loud begin to respect your pace because your presence orders them. The yeses become clear and few. The no's stop feeling mean and start feeling merciful. You will feel it somatically. Breath between sentences, shoulders unhooked, appetite for quiet. A sentence that returns and holds. That is the green light. Stay with me. With regulation in place, you are ready for the obedience plan, the ordered moves that lock this identity online. Before you explain anything to anyone, we will record, reduce, and respond in sequence. Slow breath. Hand on your chest. You are not losing it. You are coming online. Chosen one, stay with me. Regulation is in place. The window is live. Before you explain anything to anyone, we move to obedience. I am going to be precise with you because you do not have time for vague messages. 3 steps in order: record, reduce, respond. Do not hunt for a grand sign while ignoring the small signs sitting in your notebook unwritten. Do not burn energy persuading people who benefit from your confusion. Obedience is a sequence, not a speech. Take one slow breath, slow, not deep. Hand on your chest. Say this out loud. I do not need permission to obey. Step 1. Record. This is the capture, not the conclusion. Place a notebook by your bed and a small one in your bag or pocket. Pen, not just a phone. Upon waking, especially at 3 o'clock, 4:15 or 4:44, write 3 simple things without interpretation. One image from any dream you remember. Hallway, body of water, same building, same face. One word or phrase that keeps returning, a city, a sentence, a name. And one feeling spike you noticed yesterday. Tight chest after a text, nausea in a meeting, relief when you canceled a plan. Do not make it poetic. Timestamps, bullet fragments, heaven leaves fingerprints. You are dusting the scene. Through the day, when something repeats, catch it. A verse you overhear twice. A problem you are asked to solve 3 times in different rooms. A door number that reappears. The same inner sentence nudging you while you wash dishes. Record it, unchanged. When your emotions flare, anger that feels larger than the moment, sudden shame that tries to narrate your worth, note what happened 1 minute before the spike, where you were, who was there, and what your body did. Jaw, shoulders, gut, breath. We are not feeding anxiety, we are mapping it. Patterns prefer paper. Each night for 7 nights, scan your notes with a pen. Circle repeats. Words, times, images, names. Put a small star beside the one that brings peace when you read it. Peace, not hype. If nothing repeats yet, mercy. Keep writing. The instruction matures as you steward it. This is not overthinking. This is honoring how recognition rises when seen. The rule: record before you interpret, and interpret only what returns 3 times. Then wait 1 more day to see if it still holds. Obedience that survives 24 hours of quiet is the kind you can build on. Step 2. Reduce. You cannot carry a forming identity into a festival of noise and expect clarity to win. Reduction is not punishment, it is a greenhouse. For 7 days, remove what spikes your stress frequency. Turn off non-essential notifications. Snooze threads that bait you into debate. Mute, temporarily, the voices that narrate you smaller or flatter you into old roles. Set do not disturb from the hour you start dimming in the evening until 30 minutes after you wake. No late night scrolling. Your nervous system cannot parse 1,000 strangers and recognize God at the same time. Prohibition as protection. Do not announce your new identity to skeptics. Do not chase confirmation from people who benefit from your old self staying on stage. Do not post performative updates about your shift to recruit applause. The applause you earn explaining obedience is the energy you needed to do obedience. Choose 3 safe voices only for logistics and alignment. Keep everyone else at, "I am not available for that this week." Boundaries are not rudeness, they are scaffolding. The structure is temporary, the fruit is forever. Reduce inputs that impersonate urgency. No news first thing in the morning, no comment battles, no prove-it coffees with people who confuse access with entitlement. If you must be in loud rooms, leave earlier than you used to. Put your phone to charge outside your bedroom. Walk without headphones once a day. Eat 1 meal without a screen. If a thread or app reliably makes your breath go shallow, that is data. Remove it for a week. Your peace is not fragile, it is valuable. Protect your forming name like it is a seed in soil, because it is. Step 3. Respond. 1 obedient act per day, small, specific, repeatable. God honors sequence over drama. This is not about the grand gesture. This is about the hinge that unlocks the door you are already standing in front of. Read your circled repeats and starred piece markers. Ask, what is the smallest faithful move that agrees with this? Then do that today without announcement. Examples. Clean 1 space you work in daily, a desk, a bag, a folder, and throw away what lies about who you are now. Finish 1 delayed task that leaks energy, a lingering email, a bill, a form, a thank you note. Apologize where the spirit keeps pricking. Call. Name your part without defense. Ask what repair would look like. Do not narrate your whole transformation. Cancel 1 draining commitment you kept to be polite. Say, my capacity has changed. I need to release this. And do not backfill with over-explaining. Set 1 boundary. Clarify your hours. Put an autoresponder for a week. Remove calendar access from people who book your life for you. Start the draft. Open the document. Name the file. Write the first paragraph, not the book. Put a 15-minute timer on and stop when it dings. Consistency over consecutive days forms authority. If a task takes longer than 20 minutes and spikes panic, split it into 2 acts and do the first half today. If you finish early, do not add a second obedience unless peace instructs it. Overperforming is how you used to mask uncertainty. We are not feeding that animal. Before you move, micro-ritual, slow breath, hand on your chest. Say it aloud, low and clear, I do not need permission to obey. Then move your body while you obey, so your nervous system anchors the memory. Walk while you voice the boundary. Stand while you press send. Breathe between sentences while you apologize. Notice how obedience calms more than thinking about obedience. Warning with mercy. You will feel the itch to explain, to text the skeptic and win them, to ask 5 opinions so you can blame someone else if you're wrong, to post a cryptic epiphany for instant belonging. Do not crowdsource a name God is whispering. Do not invite commentary on work not yet rooted. Do not schedule 3 lunches to process what you already know. The energy you spend proving is energy stolen from becoming. Let the fruit speak in 30 days. Sequence is your defense. Expect the sabotage strategies, a sudden desire to reorganize your entire house instead of the drawer, a vow to write 10,000 words today so you can avoid 300 words tomorrow, a compulsion to reopen an old relationship for closure when really you want preemptive permission to change. Call each by its true name. Avoidance, then return to the plan. Record, reduce, respond. One thing, one day, in order. Chosen one, take a slow breath, not deep, slow. We are sealing this plan with simple participation. Put your hand on your chest and say it again, clear and true. I do not need permission to obey. Your agreement is vertical before it is horizontal. Your yes must hear itself before anyone else hears it. Do the 1 act today. Write it on paper. Put a check mark next to it when it is done. This is how you build trust with yourself and make room for recognition to rule. As you do this, 3 emotional waves will rise and try to drag you back to the shore you outgrew. Guilt will hiss that saying no is unkind and that boundaries are arrogance. Fear of success will whisper that if you move, you will lose love or be exposed as a fraud. Sacred grief will ache for futures you are releasing and versions of you that kept you alive. These are not contradictions. They are proof you are transitioning. We will walk each wave next in order so they do not sabotage the plan. For now, hold the sequence. Do not search for a grand sign. Record the pattern, reduce the noise, then respond with small obedience in order. Authority is consistency over consecutive days. The window is live. Walk it. Chosen one, slow breath. Slow, not deep. What you are feeling now is not sabotage from the sky. It is the ground shifting under your feet because you finally moved. 3 waves will rise in order. They are not contradictions. They are confirmations. They do not mean turn back. They mean keep walking with care. I am going to be precise with you because you do not have time for vague messages. We will name each wave, reframe it, regulate it, and respond with 1 measured act. Do not negotiate with waves. You ride them in order and let them pass. Wave 1 is guilt. It will arrive dressed as kindness, as duty, as be reasonable, as who do you think you are. Hear me, this guilt is not a verdict. It is a tether to old roles. It tightens when you stop performing the part that kept other people comfortable. It will accuse you of selfishness because you put oxygen on your own face before flying the whole plane yourself again. It will tell you boundaries are arrogance and that releasing old assignments is betrayal. Guilt is an expert at using your goodness against you, but guilt is not God. Chosen one, your permission to become is not theft. It is obedience to the one rebuilding you. When guilt floods, Do this in order. Name it out loud. This is guilt, not guidance. Hand on your chest. 3 slow breaths. Longer on the exhale. Look at the room you are in and say the present facts in one sentence. I am sitting at my desk. I am safe. I am allowed to choose. Then write a single line in your notebook. I release the role of blank that no longer fits who God is rebuilding. Fill the blank. Savior, mascot, fixer, always available friend. Do not compose an essay to the person benefiting from the role. Do not text apologies for existing. If a boundary needs to be communicated, keep it simple and timely. My capacity has changed. I am no longer able to do this. No justification paragraphs. You are not a defendant on trial. You are a steward of a trust. Record the spike. Reduce the noise. Respond with one boundary kept for one day. That is how guilt loses jurisdiction. Wave 2 is fear of success, not fear of failing. You know how to fail and survive. This is the fear of visibility, responsibility, and losing the identity that made you acceptable. This fear will offer reasonable-sounding cautions. If you step out, you will be exposed. If you grow, you will outgrow love. If you deliver, they will expect it again. Better to stay modest than be accused. Hear the mercy. This is chosen one resistance. When the enemy cannot stop you outright, he tapes cardboard over your own light and calls it wisdom. The stress signal loves this fear because it keeps you small enough to manage. When fear of success rises, do this in order. Name it. This is fear of being seen, not a warning. 3 slow breaths, slow, not deep. Let your shoulders unhook, then write, I release the need to be invisible, to be safe. I agree to be seen at the measure peace permits today. Choose one exact, undramatic act of visibility in alignment with your current instruction. Send the pitch email to the one person who actually asked, not to a crowd. Put your name on the document you ghost wrote. Accept the calendar block labeled Build and keep it like a meeting with a king. Publish the piece to the small list you already have, not the platform that feeds your adrenaline. Do not postpone to perfect it. Perfection is a costume for delay. Keep the sequence visible, small, alive. If anxiety spikes as you move, pause for 3 breaths, then complete the act anyway. This teaches your nervous system that visibility can be quiet and safe. Record the act. Reduce the applause window. No immediate scrolling for reactions. Respond again tomorrow with the next small light. Wave 3 is sacred grief. Not the grief of catastrophe. The grief of outgrowing an old dream that was good for its season. The grief of a version of love that kept you alive but is not love enough for where you are going. The grief of identities that carried your survival but cannot carry your calling. Grief will try to convince you something died wrong. In truth, it is proof something is being born right. God will not shame your tears. He is not impatient with your ache. He gathered Israel's tears in a bottle. He is not threatened by yours. When grief comes, do not harden and do not drown. Contain it with reverence. Set a 12-minute timer. Sit somewhere private, hand on chest. 3 slow breaths. Say, this is sacred grief. It belongs. Then write 3 names of what you are releasing, the title, the relationship form, the dream that would have required you to keep performing. After each, write 1 sentence. I release blank. Thank you for keeping me alive. I bless you and I let you go. If tears come, let them. When the timer ends, close the notebook. Do not reopen the past for one more conversation you already had 3 times. Do not drive by the memory and call it coincidence. If helpful, fold the page and place it in an envelope labeled 30 days. We honor, we release, we move. You are not abandoning loyalty, you are obeying order. Now, hear me on community. You do not need a crowd to hold these waves. You may choose one safe person, one, not five. How do you recognize them? They have fruit where you are headed, not just opinions. They practice discretion. Your process does not become their content. They bless boundaries instead of angling for access. They speak peace, not hype. With that person, share one paragraph only, the sentence you recorded, the boundary you are keeping, the visible act you will complete this week. Ask for prayer and presence, not strategy. If you share and feel smaller, pull back. Your spirit is telling you the circle is too wide. Sequence matters. Greenhouse, not stadium. Remember the protocol across all three waves. Name it, breathe slow, write one release sentence, complete one small obedience, record it. Do not negotiate with waves. Do not make permanent decisions at the peak of an emotion. Let 24 hours pass and see if peace remains when it recedes. The pattern will emerge on paper. Recognition will rise as you honor it. The waves crest and crash. You remain. Each time you ride one without turning back, your inner authority returns another inch. Warning with mercy. Your old world will sense the shift and send lures, nostalgic invitations, emergency-flavored requests, flattery that sounds like prophecy. Do not confuse bait with blessing. If a yes would break your sequence, it is a no for now. You are guarding a becoming. You are not withholding love. You are protecting order. Chosen one, slow breath. Slow, not deep. You are not losing it. You are loosening from what once held you. Guilt is a tether you can cut. Fear of success is a curtain you can part. Sacred grief is a river you can cross. These are the waves that prove you are moving. Now we seal the shift. Agreement turns recognition into movement. In the next step, you will speak what heaven has been whispering and take the next door in order. Stay with me. The window is live. The sequence will hold you. Chosen one, slow breath. Slow, not deep. We have walked the waves. We have mapped the patterns. The fingerprints are on your paper. The window is live around you. You have learned to record instead of explain, to reduce instead of perform, to respond instead of overthink. You have seen how the doors do not open at random but in order, and how peace rises when you honor the sequence. Now we seal the shift. Recognition becomes transformation only when you agree with what heaven is doing and take the next obedient step in order. This is not performance. This is participation. I am going to be precise with you because you do not have time for vague messages. Place your hand on your chest. Lower your shoulders. One slow breath, longer on the exhale. Say this aloud, clear and simple. I receive the identity God is restoring. I release the version of me that survived but could not lead. Again, slower. I receive the identity God is restoring. I release the version of me that survived but could not lead. Let your own voice hear you. Your agreement is vertical before it is horizontal. If you need a marker in the earth, write it in your notebook now. If you are in a place where you can type, seal it without performance by typing 2 sentences as covenant. I see it. I am ready. Not to impress, to anchor. Heaven honors small seals made in truth. In the next 24 hours, you will choose 3 acts in order. First, door 1, alignment in relationships and noise. Pick one boundary that protects order. Release one thread that keeps yanking you out of stillness. Examples: place your phone outside the bedroom tonight. Set do not disturb from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. Decline the urgent meeting that only recreates yesterday's chaos. Mute the chat that narrates you smaller. Cancel one politeness-based commitment that breaks your peace. Use simple language. My capacity has changed. I'm not available for this. No essays, no defensive paragraphs. If someone presses, repeat the sentence once, then go quiet. Greenhouse, not stadium. The point is not to punish anyone. The point is to protect the forming name. Write the boundary down first, speak it second, keep it third. Second, door 2, calling in motion. Choose one exact step that agrees with the patterns you circled and the phrases that returned 3 times. This is not the throne room speech. This is the hinge. Examples. Send the email you already drafted to the person who asked for your work. Make a 30-minute block called Build and use it without negotiating. Open the document and write the first 300 words. Outline the offering you keep describing and title it. Schedule the one conversation that moves the assignment forward. Deliver the thing that has been sitting 90% complete. If your body spikes with stress mid-act, stand, breathe slow, and finish anyway. Authority grows by consistency over consecutive days, not by fireworks. When you finish, put a check mark next to it and write one sentence. Today I moved in agreement. Third, restoration, regulation that lets recognition stay online. Tonight, choose a simple sleep ritual that tells your nervous system you are safe to receive. 1 hour before bed, dim the lights. Put your phone on charge in another room. Warm water on your hands or a brief shower to rinse the day. 2 minutes of slow breathing, not deep. 4 counts in, 6 counts out. Stretch your shoulders and jaw. Place your notebook by the bed and a pen on top. When you wake at 3 o'clock or 4:15 or 4:44, write one image, one phrase, one feeling spike. No interpreting. In the morning, give yourself 10 minutes of quiet before any screen. Walk without headphones if you can. This is not elaborate, it is ordered. Stress settles first so recognition can rise again tomorrow. Hear me. Do not click away from this and sprint back into noise. Give yourself 5 minutes right now to write your 3 acts. Door 1 boundary, door 2 calling step, 1 restoration ritual. Circle them. If peace touches them when you read them aloud, commit. If you feel hype, reduce it and choose smaller. Smaller in sequence is stronger than grand and out of order. When you are ready, seal with your voice. Say again, I receive the identity God is restoring. I release the version of me that survived but could not lead. If this word guarded you, let it become ministry. Gently like this so the platform sends it to another chosen one who is inside the window and does not know it yet. Share it only if a name rose with peace while you listened. The placement is the assignment. Subscribe softly if you need the next instruction without searching. Do not explain your share. Let peace lead them. And do not, after sealing, flood yourself with commentary or headlines. Give your spirit 30 minutes of quiet. Obedience loves clean air. Protective reassurance with a warning. The shift has already started. You are not trying to create it. You are agreeing with it. Peace is your compass, not the loudest voice, not the oldest pattern, not the most urgent ping. Sequence is your protection. Door 1 holds door 2, and together they invite heaven's provision without you forcing door 3. If an invitation demands you break order, it is bait, not blessing. If a path asks you to shrink what God is restoring, it is not yours. When in doubt, slow breath. Hand on chest. Ask, does peace remain after 24 hours? Build where peace stays. Chosen one, take one more slow breath. The window is live. The doors are in order. You have sealed the agreement. Now walk, boundary first, assignment next. Rest to hold it. Do not rush to prove. Let fruit testify in 30 days. You are not behind. You are becoming on time. I am with you in the sequence. Walk through the next door.